Good morning, thank you for joining me. I hope everybody's well. I don't actually need those on at this juncture in time. Welcome to another video. Today I am putting my makeup on. You'll probably be relieved to hear that after seeing me in this state. I like to preface these videos when I make them. I do them occasionally, and this one has been requested a few times recently. I like to preface these by saying I am no makeup artist. Everything I have learned about makeup, I have learned from YouTube. I'm keen on makeup. I love how makeup makes me feel. I love trying new products and all of that good stuff, but I'm certainly no makeup artist. So don't expect me to, this is in no way a tutorial. I'm just going to put my makeup on, chat to you about it, and yeah, that's what this is all about. I will of course list everything that I'm going to use because I am no makeup minimalist. This is what I'm going to use this morning. No makeup minimalist. I will list everything that I'm going to use in the description box in case you want to click through and get any more info on anything. Right, just let me have a sip of water. Right, without further ado, let's get into it. I have already put my SPF on. Glasses back on. This is what I'm using. I don't wear SPF all the time. I don't wear it all year round, but when the sun comes out and I am going to be spending time outside, I do wear it on those days. I don't see the point of SPF when I'm not going to be leaving the house, you know, or going outside. But this is what I'm using. This is really nice. It's the Garnier, what is it called? Super UV Hyaluronic Acid Hydrating Fluid. So it's got moisturiser in it as well. And it's a really nice, thin consistency. As you can see, it melts into the skin really quickly. It doesn't leave any sort of white cast, and makeup goes on really nicely over the top of it, which again is a really good thing, isn't it? Of course, we should wear SPF on the back of our hands as well, shouldn't we? Which I am very, very bad at doing, hence why my backs of my hands look like an 80-year-old woman, no doubt. I'll obviously pop a link in for this one as well. All right, let's start with some primer today. Got my mirror over here. I'm going to probably have to juggle around a little bit at some point because these videos are never easy to make. I don't actually enjoy making them that much, I have to say. Let me put that on as well. I don't like making them that much because I feel like I'm juggling with the mirror and the camera and never looking in the right direction and all of that stuff, which is a bit inconvenient. This is the, it's a dupe for the Bobbi Brown, is the Vitamin Enriched Moisturising Primer from Primark. Lacura and Aldi also do a very good dupe of the same Bobbi Brown primer. And it's lovely. Both of these are really good, the Primark one and the Aldi one. And handily, it's got the price on there. It's £4.50, the Primark one. They don't always have it in, but last time I went in, I think they did have it. I didn't pick up a spare as I have a few primers to get through at the moment, but it is a good one. Nice and moisturising. Right, the next product I am going to use. Let me bring you in, actually. Oh, not that way. Let's do that, which is terrifying, but you will at least be able to see what I'm doing. This is the Maybelline Instant Eye Eraser. I have been using this product for years. This is in the shade Brighten, and it's a very specific product. I find I get very dark, not circles underneath my eyes, but just in the corners there. So I just put a little bit of that into those corners like that. And then I use this triangular sort of shape brush that just gets into that space perfectly, which I got from Temu. I'll link the brush as well if it's still available. And I just sort of blend that out in that area. Just this brush fits so perfectly into that space. I used to use a little mini makeup sponge for this, but this is perfect. And do you see what a difference that makes in terms of brightening that area? I haven't got that darkness in there, so that's a step I never miss out on. Right, foundation. I've just been sent this last week. This is the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC cream. It does say, I don't know if I've tried this before. I don't think I have. I've got it in the shade Fair. And it's got an SPF 50 in, so I thought that would be worth trying. I always put additional SPF on, even if I have a moisturiser with SPF in it, or a foundation with SPF in it, because they say that you need a whole teaspoon of SPF for your face, don't you? You certainly wouldn't want to use a whole teaspoon of foundation every time you put it on. So it's colour correcting full coverage cream. So I usually do my foundation with a brush, but because this is full coverage, I've got a damp beauty blender. This is actually clean. This does not look clean. I feel like I need to explain that this is clean, but the stains don't come out. It is thoroughly washed. If anyone has any tips on how to get the stains out of sponges, do let me know. I'm all ears. Right, let's go for... Oh, God. Finally, it comes out. I made a right mess with that. Luckily, I brought a tissue with me. Right, I've got some on the back of my hand. It does feel quite thick. I'm used to a more liquidy foundation, and it does look quite pale. I have got some self-tan spray on my face. So I am probably darker than I normally would be, but we'll give it a go. Right, I've slapped some on. Let's blend that with this. I'll probably fast forward this bit. Okay, I don't really like that. Probably looks okay from that distance. It's really settled into the lines. Up there, it feels really thick and gloopy to put on, even with the beauty blender. It is very full coverage. I think at my age, with my skin, I don't really like full coverage. I just wanted to give it a go as I've been sent it, but I don't think I'd use that again. It looks okay. It's very matte. Colour-wise, could be a bit darker, but, you know, that's okay. We can work with the colour. But, yeah, I don't think that's a great product in terms of looking particularly nice on my skin, I have to say. But we'll try and make it work. We will see what we can do with it. I'm just going to blend it a little bit more, and then I'll come back to you. Don't feel like that's improved it at all, but never mind. Right, next product. If you watch me regularly talking about makeup, you will know that my favourite powder of all time is the Laura Mercier Candle Glow, which has very sadly been discontinued. RIP Candle Glow. I have now found this, which is by MAC, which is the, what are you called? It's the Satin Finish Natural Mineral, it's the Mineralized Skin Finish Natural in the shade Medium Golden. Now, I'm not one for powder all over my face these days. Again, as I've got older, I find that I like powder. I use a big fluffy brush, swirl it round there, and I like it down the T-zone, so over my nose, my chin, bit of my forehead, and then sort of under the eye area, but not as far out as the outer part of my face, because I don't want it to look too matte. I would like a bit of a glow. So that having been said, this foundation is so matte that I am actually going to go out on the outside of my face with this today. But with my usual foundations that I like to wear, the Revolution Skin Silk is a current favourite. I find that that gives me enough of a glow without needing to put glowy powder over the top of it. I don't know if any of this is making sense at all. Right, next product is bronzer. I'm using the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Bronzer. I don't think there's a shade on this, but if I can find a shade, that's what that looks like. And I used a cream bronzing brush. This is from Refine. This has been through the wars, hasn't it? I just swirl that around in there. Then I like to take that up sort of on my cheekbone, but certainly not under my cheekbone. Everything has to come up high these days to give me a bit of lift. Let's put a bit more colour into my face, and I like to go just under here as well, just to give the illusion of having some sort of jawline. Again, it's an age thing, isn't it? Everything drops down. I like this. It's a cream bronzer, which works quite well for me. It's not super glittery, but it has got a little bit of glow in it, which I find is quite flattering. Now a bit of blusher, and using another IT Cosmetics product, which I really like actually, IT by Pores Blush. And that is what this one looks like. The shade is Je Ne Sais Quoi Natural Pink. This is so good at getting rid of texture on your skin, you know, we all spend too much time on social media looking at perfected people, which is not reality, is it? But I find that this just blurs everything a little bit. It's a really nice colour. I like to bring my blush up high, as you can see. It's a really nice colour, and it just blurs. It gives everything a blurred finish, which is really nice. It blends in really nicely. It lasts pretty well as well. Just feel like that gives a really nice glow and just blurs everything nicely. I'm going to bring that up a little bit. Right, time for eyebrows. This is what I'm going to use. This is called the Anglicolor Browfection Angled Brush and Dip. It was sent to me and I thought, what a gimmicky product. And I've ended up using it every single day. I really like it. I get my brows microbladed. Unfortunately, when I had them done this time, the colour didn't take brilliantly. I think what happens when you've had your brows microbladed for years, because it's effectively a tattoo, and you are then tattooing over scar tissue every single time, I think the skin eventually probably rejects it a little bit, so the pigment hasn't gone in as well as it could have done this time. So I've got the shape to follow, but I just like to darken them up a little bit with this. And I think this is so good and so easy for doing that. And brows are done. So nice and simple. Right, I like to put an eye primer on, and I'm currently using the Wonder Stick from NYX, which is actually a contour and highlight stick, just because it needed using up, and it's a pretty good eye primer for evening out the colour on my eyes. So I just paint a bit on and then blend it in with my finger, and that, as I say, just evens out the colour on my eyelid. I find as I get older, my eyelids have become more discoloured, and I like to even them out like so. And then I use a loose powder. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills loose setting powder, but honestly, you can use any loose setting powder as long as it's fairly mild. It's a translucent one. I just go into the lid there. It's got a little bit on with a brush that looks like that, and I like to just set all of that, and then a little bit on the outer corner of my eyes, because I do get runny eyes as well, sort of underneath, just to try and set that area to avoid any makeup that I put on immediately running all the way down my face. Right, we're ready for eyeshadow. For eyeshadow, I am using this little palette from Natasha Denona. This is a really easy, simple eyeshadow palette. You've got a couple of shimmers here and here, nice neutral ones. You've got a nice dark colour for liner. You've got a pale colour here for highlighting, and you've got a medium colour for shaping and crease colour type of thing. So we're going to start with that medium colour at the end there. And I'm going to grab this flattish, fluffy brush. Flat, fluffy brush. Try saying that when you've had a few drinks. And just sort of shape for me, from the outer bit of my eye there. Plonk some on. I like to go slightly above my crease because I've got hooded eyes, and I don't go too far in towards the centre. It's just really that outer part that I'm trying to shape there. So just plonk it on like that, and then it's all about the blending. Big fluffy brush that looks like that. Sorry, I've got to bring my mirror in just a little bit. I'll try not to get it into shot. And just blend, blend, blend so that all the hard edges disappear, but you've still got that colour sort of shaping your eye, giving you a bit of definition and shape. Right, that's where we're at with that. We are now going to put something on the eyelid. Sorry, I've got bits of eyeshadow falling out here. This middle one here, I'm going to get my little finger in there. I find much easier to do my eyelid with my little finger. And I'm just going to get that into sort of the first half of the eye, I guess, maybe 2/3 of the way across. Just add some nice highlight. They say you shouldn't wear shimmer as you get older, but as long as it's not too glittery, I think it's fine. I like shimmer. I think it's light reflecting and pretty flattering, to be honest. like that. Then I'm going to go into the other shimmer at the end, which is a slightly darker one, and take that from sort of halfway across the eye towards the outside. Like so. Just get that off my fingers. Then I'm going to go back into this colour here and darken up that outer corner. I'm going to use a slightly smaller fluffy brush. Just get some on the brush and then just into this outer portion, get some colour on there, like so. And then I'm going to blend again with the big fluffy brush out and up. You can use your finger as a guide if you want to, just to stop anything going down. You don't want anything to be going lower. You want to be blending out and up with that. These Natasha Denona eyeshadows, sort of, they do the job for you, to be perfectly honest. They blend so beautifully. They're really, really nice. And check that you haven't got any harsh corners looking out. That looks okay. Then I'm going to get a little stubby brush like that. Don't know how well that's focusing. And go back into that same colour. And I'm going to go underneath the eye, just under the lower lash line, probably only about 1/3 of the way across on each eye, just to add a little bit of definition. You don't like to do anything too dark underneath. Really try and keep the colours quite neutral and light, but just to get that little bit of definition there in that outer corner. Next, I'm going to use this Victoria Beckham lower waterline pencil, which is meant to brighten up your eyes. I'm still on the fence about how good this is, but use it in the lower waterline. I'll do one at a time so we can assess how well it's working. I do think it is actually, you see, yeah, I can see a difference with that. I don't know how long it lasts, to be perfectly honest, but we shall see. I feel like it could be whiter, but perhaps that's not the idea. Perhaps if it was white it would be too stark white. It's always better on the second eye. I feel like as you touch the pencil to your skin, it loosens up a bit or melts a little bit and goes on better. So there we are, I've done both of those. Now I don't use eyeliner on the top of my lash line. I don't, because I've got hooded eyes, I don't like to do that. But what I do like is an angled brush like this into that darkest colour in that palette. And I lick it first. I probably shouldn't. You're probably all shouting at me, but never mind. And I go right into the root of my lashes underneath. And this makes such a difference with definition. I can't talk and do it at the same time. If I show you that, you can really see the difference, no doubt. I can't, because I can't see anything without my glasses, but there we are. I'll just do the other one quickly. Right, that's all done. I'm going to do mascara now, and I've got a new mascara find to share with you. I think this came in a beauty box of some description. It is the Swede Pro Lash Lift Mascara. Now, I have had a couple of good mascara finds over the last couple of years, but they have been big brush type mascaras, and this has got one of these lovely flat brushes that I absolutely love. As my eyesight gets worse, obviously you can't put your glasses on to do your mascara, can you? I find the big brushes are more difficult to manipulate, and this is really super simple. This goes on beautifully. That's one coat on one eye, obviously. Right, I'll just do the other one. I'll come back in a second. Right, I've done my mascara. I've done a little tad on the bottom lashes as well. Not loads, but just a little bit, as I say, for definition. And finally, we are going to do lips. Have I got my lip? Right, lips. I've got the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip liner. Lip liner makes such a difference. I only started using it in the last couple of years. Again, I can't do lip liner and talk. couple of tips with lip liner. I'd like to go just outside my lip line just to give the illusion of a fuller lip. And also they say, and it really works, don't go right into the corners. As you get older, you want to give the illusion of volume in the centre part of your lips, and going right into the corners can age you. Not a good thing necessarily, so I've taken that on board and I never do it now. I like to go in a little bit as well and just sort of paint the inside a little bit just so it's not a very harsh line. And then this is my absolute favourite lipstick at the moment. I'm sorry, it's a Yves Saint Laurent one. This is the Rouge Pure Couture. I think the shade is 10, but I'll put it in the description box anyway. This is a creamy sort of satin finish lipstick. It's a sort of pinky nude colour. It goes with everything. I really, really like it. Right, I'm going to finish off with a squirt of setting spray. Let me just push you back again a little bit. This is the MAC Fix Plus. Really good, works well. It's got a slightly wet, but less misty than I would like. It's more full-on spray, but it does work really well, this. But my favourite setting spray ever is the Urban Decay All Night, and that's an absolutely brilliant setting spray. Right, we are done. I can take this off, zhuzh my hair, and I'm ready for the day. I hope that was interesting or useful or something. As I say, I will link everything down in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.